easy to stagnate in a job because for as long as your salary is coming in at the end of the month, as long as you get a salary increment at the end of the year, and your company is stable, then you are at your comfort zone. And you're not growing with your company. So you may realize, how comes 5 years down the line, I have not done so much changes in my career? If we were to remove the experience, there's no difference between you and a fresh graduate. So I'd like us to demystify, how do we ensure we don't stagnate career-wise? How do we level up? How do we move from one stage to the other, even if not necessarily at a different organization? Because you cannot just sit there saying you are stagnated, complaining about the housing levy deductions, the NSSF, the housing levy, too many deductions in our salary and the high cost of living. We need to think about, our company set the strategic objectives last year, September or in Q4. But you at a personal level, what are your career goals for the next 1 year or 5 years? Where do you want to be? So stay tuned and make sure you subscribe. And I really appreciate for all the support you called me, because you can record and you fail to get viewers. So I'm so humbled. We are on the road to 500 subscribers, so kindly ensure you subscribe. Also in the comment section, let me know, what is your experience? How do you plan to advance your career to the next level, or you are just comfortable where you are? It is said that what got you to this level may not be what takes you to the next level, and may also not be what will keep you at this level. So for example, if it is your degree that got you the job, it must not be the one to get you another job. If it's a professional qualification that made you have an added advantage to get you the job, that is not what you are going to use to seek for a promotion, because clearly you were hired because you are professionally qualified. So it's time to look at, where am I career-wise? If when coming in for this job, I already had a degree, should I consider pursuing a second degree? Should I consider now pursuing masters? Should I consider enrolling for my professional qualification? Some of you have been saying, oh, I'll enroll for my masters in January. January inakuja, you spend all the salary mpaka December. Others, the company is even paying for you for professional papers. You are not doing them. You are okay at where you are. So you need to advance your career. If you had a diploma and you've chosen the career path, then you need to get a degree. Because if redundancy was to happen, then the diploma guy will go first before the degree guy is start. It's high time you started considering more responsibilities. If you are employed to be an accountant in maybe credit control, you've done that for 5 years. What else do you know? Can you do financial reporting? Can you do audit? You need to advance on that level. You need to increase your capacity so that you have a high bargaining power when it comes to salary increment. And also, when your boss is thinking about who can we promote, then you'll be the first person to be considered, because you've added value to yourself. You're not just where you are 5 years when getting the job. Some companies are so good that people don't resign, especially the blue chip companies. You realize someone has been a manager for the last 15 years. Your supervisor has been there since you were in high school. And your colleague has been here for 7 years. So chances of your growth in that company are very lean, because you will still remain in the same job group despite your experience. So at times, don't be in the comfort zone. It may be time to look for another job. You may have stayed in an organization for 3 years, same position, and clearly you cannot move to the next position because it does not even exist. But with that qualification and the experience you've gained, you can apply for that next level job you desire in a different company. And of course, going to a different company comes with more exposure, it comes with more salary, and it comes with different benefits. You can even move horizontally, move from one position to another, but at a different salary, and also you gain more insights on how the industry is performing. Because at times, the culture at your place may not be the culture in a different place. And as long as you want to pursue the career journey and you want to be at the highest corporate ladder in due time, you may need to have gotten exposure of different cultures in your industry. So can you apply for that job? Are you on LinkedIn? Ama you spend all your time on social media, on Instagram? Are you looking out for those jobs? Have you started telling people in your industry that you are interested in a new position? Make that application, update your CV. We are still at the beginning of the year, we're in January. So you should say by December, this is where I want to be. Technology has made some of this routine job redundant. For instance, if you worked in a bank where you generate and reconcile customer statements, nowadays it has been automated. Like every 6th of the month or at the beginning of the month, you're able to get your bank statement. At times, you do not even need to go to the bank to get a loan. You can use a USSD code. They have an app. You don't even have to fill application forms. So the person who was doing that job in the bank is now redundant. If it's in an insurance company, renewal notices are now automated. They are generated by the system and sent directly to your email. So for the underwriter who was sending renewal notices, you can nowadays even buy a motor insurance certificate from your house. You have 1,000, you go to direct line portal or you place a certain USSD code. It will take you step by step, you pay and you get your insurance cover. So for someone who was doing, nowadays we do not even have the physical motor certificates. They are issued digitally. So over time, what you do may not be doable by a human being. Are you advancing your technological capacity? Are you learning artificial intelligence? Because you might need to see if this job in the next 5 years, I'm likely not to be doing it. It is going to be automated. Then what else can I do? You cannot say, I was a government employee and now the job has come to an end. You start going back to the village complaining about how your benefits were not properly considered or how you cannot access your retirement benefits because you retired before time. So technology is very key. You might even need to consider approaching your boss and telling them we might need to automate this so that our human energy can be concentrated on this other thing. For example, it may be using technology to get more customers. It may be using technology to advertise your company. Nowadays we do not even need billboards. A TikTok or a reel on Instagram can be paid. So if you are doing marketing, then in future your job might be at stake. So do not ignore technology. See what you can do, because nowadays internet is easily accessible. Review where you are, review the job you have, and see, for example, the salespeople, they cannot be replaced 100%. Because some generation would like to have that human interaction, unlike a Gen Z who would want to get the product well explained on the internet, then they can just pick at the comfort of their place. So not be okay with the bare minimum. Some people like doing what is on their plate. They come in at 9, they leave at 5 p.m. They never go beyond what they are required to do. It's high time you learned how to do data analysis. Do you even know how to make a board report? Do you know how to analyze data? Can you be given an Excel sheet and do pivot tables? Are you able to filter data? All, as long as you did computer packages and you are not applying them, then you are good to go. Find an extra thing to do. Get more skills. Have leadership skills. Can you motivate a team? Have you learned how to regulate your emotions? Or you are the kind of a person who can even cry in a boardroom despite having 10 years of experience. So go over and above your job. See how you can help your department in another extra thing that the department requires, and you've identified that as a gap. The way to grow is not by just being a mediocre person. It's not just being the ordinary person. You need to be an extraordinaire. Good things may take time, but they also Don't take time to the lazy people who want to remain at the same level. You have to be aggressive enough. You have to be doing something extra. You might need to have some more qualification outside your job, outside the academic, outside the professional. You need to have maybe some soft skills. Are you learning? These things are nowadays available on the internet. You can do a course. You can even learn a different language if you are in travel. If you are a tour and agency company, knowing your 3 languages, the local language, the Swahili, and the English as a Kenyan, may not be enough. You need to learn French. You need to learn Chinese. You need to know something extra. Don't just be okay with booking flights for people. Have you taken your time to even onboard other sub-agents in your organization, or you are just okay doing a one-man show? That one-man show can be dead in a single day. So add more skills, add those data analytics, add those leadership skills, soft skills, co-curricular skills that do not directly relate to your job. Learn how to deal with people, and especially the difficult ones. Bare minimum is a no-go zone. Do not be a mediocre in your job. The other thing is network. We've noted that 90% of the jobs nowadays, according to a research done in 2019, I don't remember who did the research, they are not advertised on the company's internet. We know we need head of operations in this department. Who can we poach? Who do I know that can fit in this job? I don't have to advertise and waste more HR's time and every other person's time doing interviews and negotiating for salaries. So we already know we want to pay 100,000 on this role. I know I work with someone in a different organization who can do this perfect role. I know someone who is in a different industry, but probably they were working in like Kenya Breweries. They are in the alcoholic industry. But then they managed to move the sales from 1 billion to 10 billion. If we brought that person to our customer service department, chances are high they will be able to increase our customer retention from 100 to maybe 1,000, because the customer is the same. It's only the industry and the dynamics that are quite different. So can you join those professional bodies? If you are an accountant, are you a member of ISPAC? If you are an insurance person, are you a member of the IIAK? If you are an auditor, are you a member of the internal auditors? If you are a lawyer, are you a member of the Law Society of Kenya? It's time you did professional development. It is time you joined those professional membership clubs. Some people are so good at joining golf clubs, hiking clubs, but things that matter to their career, they don't consider them. So I challenge you today. I also challenge myself, because I've been wanting to join a professional body in my industry for so long and I haven't. So let's wake up, let us join those professional organizations, because that is where you get to meet who and who. That is where you get to meet the CEO of this organization. Is where you get to meet the ICT officer in a day. It's where you get to see people in my industry are getting paid this much. Because again, the pay gap can be so huge. You think you are paid the best, but that is only in your organization. Someone else in the same position in a different company is earning twice or thrice. So if you don't network and interact with like-minded people, you may never know this information. This one may not be on the internet. You may not be told this is the pay scale of a claims person in this company, or an assistant lawyer in this organization. It is in those industries that you also, in those professional forums, that you also get to meet people who are not employed, but they are doing their practice. You may be employed as an in-house lawyer, but when you go to the professional body, you find an advocate who is doing their own private practice. You might find an insurance broker who has similar qualifications to you. So where do you start? This person is in a better position to advise you on, this is how you get the license, this is how you retain your clientele, this is how to poach for new clients. So don't just be there. Can you engage in something? And I insist once more, join a professional body. The cost of living keeps on increasing day in, day out, and deductions for a regular income person are bound to happen. For example, in Kenya right now, we have the housing levy, we have the SHIF, the SHA, we have NSSF, tier 3, currently we are deducted tier 1 and tier 2, so we have a tier 3 likely to come up in February. You do not know what our president may introduce next. We do not know, after rejection of the finance bill, what is likely to be implemented. So our salary keeps on shrinking, the cost of living is high, and you cannot keep complaining day in, day out, because even in business, we hear majority of the people complaining because Kenyans are lacking the spending and purchasing power. It's high time as a career person to consider a side hustle, something that will be bringing you an extra income, not just your salary, because also the interest on the banks have now gone up to as high as 25%. So even if you are to get a loan, the interest will still hit you so bad. You need more than one source of income, and also COVID taught us that everything can come to a hold. Use your job to maybe acquire a loan that can be used as capital for a business, but don't rely on your one source of income. It is no longer sustainable. You are taking home almost 50%, and that is if you do not have a loan. If you have a loan, you can even take home 35%. So how are you going to survive? You are living hand to mouth. You are likely to complain because of your job, but it is clear some employers are even considering letting some other people go. So if God has been graceful enough to you that you have a job, then can you substitute the income you get by starting a side hustle, start a private practice maybe as you do your main job, as long as it is not having a conflict of interest with whatever your employer does. So those are the few things I think can be used to level up your career. You can move on to the next level if you apply some of these tips that I have stated. The list is not exhaustive, so check out my YouTube channel, check on other videos that I have done on career, on other jobs, other things like how to find a job in Kenya currently. I'll put the video in the description box. And also engage with me on the comment section. Let me know what's your plan this year. That masters you've been postponing to do. When are you enrolling? Have you started looking for the universities? Have you tried to look for the course? Is it even something doable? Is it even worth it? Some of you did something different in your degree and you got a different job. So are you still there saying, I did a degree in agribusiness, but now I'm an ICT officer? You need to do those Cisco or Java or the R kind of, I don't know what they are, I don't know, coding. You need to learn software skills. You need to learn programming. You cannot just stay there because that job that is not relevant to the degree you did is what is giving you a living right now. Polish your skills, and more importantly, make sure as your company grows, you are also growing. We don't realize the growth because January comes, the 31 comes, you get paid. February comes, you get paid. And the culture continues up to December. So if you're not careful, you may realize you've not grown, and 10 years down the line are over. So until next time, adios.